Okay, people have asked if somebody had a video that they could show of replacing the controller from Pit Boss. I have a Copperhead 5 series with the Rec-Tec PID controller. So I'll try to figure this out as I go, but the first thing we're going to do is we got to get to this box here to take it out. So we're taking out several of these covers and the grease drain tube. So hopefully, I'm not going to do this the whole time, but I'll pick up after I've taken those things off. Okay, so these are the runners for the grease catch tray and a couple of the covers and the drain tube for the grease. So now I've got a much more open area. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is taking out these 4 screws of the back cover. Okay, so now I've got the cover off, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to snip some of the wires here that are going to the Pit Boss controller board because we're going to put on some connectors on the end of these wires that will end up going onto the Rec-Tec controller. So I'm going to snip these and I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so now we've clipped the wires, and I tried to clip them as close to the board as possible since I'm going to be putting connectors on these and then going back onto the board. So I didn't want to cut them from this side. I wanted to cut them right as short as possible from the Pit Boss controller board because obviously we're not going to use that anymore. So now we're ready to go ahead and remove the controller board, the Pit Boss controller board, and there are 6 little clips. There's 3 on the bottom, 1 in here on each end and 1 in the middle, and all you got to do is just press in on them a little bit towards the box here, and then and push out with the controller box, and it will pop right outside. So, I'll try to see if we can find the one here. Right there. So at any rate, I'll go ahead and get this out and we'll go from there. The Pit Boss controller board is now out. Now I've got to figure out my cover plate that I'm going to put on there, in addition to putting the new controller that we got from Rec-Tec. And I'll get with you later on that one. So this is what I'm going to be using as the cover plate, and I will tell you ahead of time, I am not a metalsmith. I never took workshop, wood shop, metal shop, whatever, so it's going to be pretty ugly looking. I've already cut out the piece that we have used for the cover plate, and I'll take that over and show you what it finally looks like. Again, like I say, it's not the prettiest, but it is in. In addition, I said I would show you the connections on the back. So there's all the connections. You can see up here are for the auger, the fan, and the igniter. Everything is hooked up properly. We use the spade connectors, and so now the problem though is when we are putting in the pan that collects the grease, it's going to hit these wires, and I don't want that, so we've had to tie wrap. But what I'm going to do is on the heat plate right here, I'm going to go ahead and make a hole on each end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another flapped piece that will bend from here over to this part here, excuse me, and that would be a protective cover so that the wires to the circuit board will not be in danger of being clipped or accidentally cut or pulled or whatever. So I'll get back to you when that's done. So what I've done is I've taken the heat shield off, which is here, and what I've done is I've taken the same piece of metal that I used for the cover plate. I did a bend in it and measured the distance here, and what that does is when I put this on, you'll see that it is actually going to protect the wires from the circuit board from getting hit by when we put in the grease tray, catch tray. And I'll show you after it's installed. So here is my protector plate, so that when I put in the grease collection tray, all the wires that were exposed are now protected. Okay, so just make sure that when you do that, that you have plenty of room here, that you're not contacting any of the wires, etc. So, at any rate, also back here on the side, I did drill a couple of holes and put a tie wrap to help secure the wire, the power cord. So now you'll be seeing how this will now slide in and go into place, and all the wires are protected. So that's my modification for that. So here's the finished product, and when I get it back up on its feet and I do the testing and everything, I'll give you a final video wrap up. But there is the install of the Rec-Tec and any modifications in the back with everything put back in place. A few last things I wanted to go over at the conclusion here is that the color scheme, the color wires that are coming off of the old PID controller are different than what the Rec-Tec controller would be for the same, driving the same item like the fan or the auger. So on your schematic that comes with the Rec-Tec, I had to take and write down what the colors from the PID are for, and then those would go accordingly over to where it says auger, fan, and igniter. So don't pay attention to the colors that it says on which one is which, because you're mostly concerned with yellow from the PID boss. Yellow is that goes to the fan, and auger goes to the is red, and that goes to goes to the auger, and then purple goes to the igniter. So don't pay attention to these colors. Make sure you follow these colors to go to the right section here. In addition, of course, and then there was the PID boss copperhead. Has the RTD colors are red and black, and they just go to the connector. Doesn't make any difference which one is which. The cover plate was 10.5 by 3 3/8, but you might want to remeasure for yourself. That's just to cover up the hole where the old controller came out, and the inside hole to put the new Rec-Tec into the cover plate is 5.5 by 2.5. Again, I'm not an engineer, so you might want to go ahead and double check those measurements. The connectors are, this is what I used for the spade connectors, the female spade connectors. They do come in different sizes, so make sure you get the right one. And also, to mount everything, I did the stainless steel, the screws that will go ahead and penetrate on their own, and they're not very long. So those are the items that I used, in addition to that metal plate that I already talked to you about. It appears as though everything is working properly, and if you can hear, we're set at 250 degrees. It is at 250, and that thing is cutting on, cutting off, cutting on, cutting off very quickly, and it's staying right at 250. It didn't take long to get there, and as soon as it got there, it stopped feeding, it stopped blowing, everything just took a chill. And now it's back and forth very quickly, maintaining, it dropped 1 degree. So obviously, if this keeps up, we are good to go. Final wrap up next. I'm Frank Connors, and I hope that this completely amateur training video on how to install a Rec-Tec controller board into a PID boss copperhead it was useful enough for anybody out there that was curious just how to go about it. I figured it out as I went along with some help from other members that had posted photos. And turns out it's really not all that difficult. It's just a matter of manufacturing a few little items, cover plates and the protector plate. Outside of that, I hope this video helps where some of you might appreciate it. That's the sole intent. It's not professional, but hey, keep on smoking. Enjoy it. Bye.